Hi there, Afsaneh. Nice to see that you've written another set of essays. Let's take a look straight away at what you did here. Okay, rainfall in England, Scotland, and Wales. This one is tricky, so let's see what you did here. The chart demonstrates the amount of rainfall in 3 different parts of Great Britain, including England, Scotland, and Wales in 2018. According to the data presented, rainfall in England had less fluctuation throughout the year than the other 2 regions, and it was constantly above 75 ml. The highest rate of rainfall for England was in July with 125 ml, while the lowest 75 ml was in June. Okay, the rainfall of Wales was near 75 ml in winter, which decreased to its bottom. I don't really care for that word bottom. Just say to its lowest point of about 25 ml in April, and then showed some other alterations all around the year 2018 with a peak. There's very specific vocabulary that we use in Task 1, especially with this kind of chart. So try to familiarize yourself with that vocabulary and use it. So the lowest point, the peak, and so forth, okay? Just above 125 ml in July. Okay. To continue, in Scotland, rainfall also had some variations with 3 different summits in March, July, and October, with 125, approximately 110 ml, and about 125 ml, respectively. The most noticeable change for Scotland was when the rainfall rose up from about 10 ml in February to more than, you can't really say to more the tenfolds. You can't do that. So let's say instead, when the rainfall increased tenfold from about, how could I say this? Let me try to fix it. I know you want to use the word tenfold, and I'm glad you're trying to use vocabulary like that, but now we just have to rearrange this sentence quite a bit, okay? Let's see if we can do it. Give me a second. Okay, here's one way you can do it. The rainfall experienced a tenfold increase from about 10 ml in February to, I don't know, what is that number in March? Whatever, 125 or something in March. Scotland had 2 other small peaks in October and July with just above and under 125 ml accordingly. Okay, overall, the rainfall in various parts of Great Britain had significant alterations throughout the year 2018. Okay, it's pretty clear. I always say this, that Task 1, there's not just one way to do Task 1. So I was pretty okay with the way you did this. Yeah, I really am. And I'm glad you tried to use some of that vocabulary, but I do want you to, again, familiarize yourself with some of this other Task 1 vocabulary. We can provide you some. There's also a ton of it on the internet all over the place. If you just write Task 1 vocabulary, you'll find lots of things. But we can certainly help you and lead you in the right direction if that's something you need. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you about this? It was good. I mean, it was appropriate, so no problems at all. All right, let's take a look at your Task 2. Okay, getting married and giving birth in their 30s as opposed to when they are younger. These are interesting questions here. There's a lot going on here, and there's more to this question than meets the eye. So the first question is this a positive or negative development, and to what extent do you support it? Okay. Let's see. Nowadays, the average age of marriage and childbearing have not grown, but they have, average age has risen. It has risen to the, here, 3rd decade of life, especially in developed nations. Some believe it is an adverse trend, but personally, I strongly support this change. This essay will argue that there are a couple of benefits. Are you sure you really want to limit yourself to just 2? Why don't you just say that there are some benefits, and then you can make it broader, okay? Using examples from the scientific literature to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, fine. Okay. Admittedly, genital organs in both men and women are more capable for fertility in their 20s. I don't know if you mean just their organs themselves, but maybe you mean the reproductive system? Perhaps you should make it a little more general to refer to the entire system involved in reproduction rather than just the organs themselves, okay? So, let's try that again. So, the reproductive system, both men and women, are more capable, not even capable for fertility. They're more prepared for fertility. They're more capable of fertility, maybe, but that's really a stretch. It's certainly not the most natural expression, okay? Whereas I believe most people are mature enough to do something. We say mature enough to do something. So mature enough to get married and have children in their 30s. Several reasons behind this are, firstly, individuals have more opportunity to find their matched spouse. Let's see what's happening here, Afsaneh. Let's try it again. The several reasons behind this are, firstly, individuals have more opportunity to find their appropriate spouse in the third decade rather than the second decade. And we have to be careful about this. Look what you're saying here. The third decade of your life is your 20s. The second decade of your life is your teens. So careful. If this is what you want to say, okay, fine. But I think you're actually arguing something else. I think you're arguing that we find our spouse in our 30s, which is in fact our fourth decade. Okay, so just be careful with some of this language. Secondly, if they marry in the third decade, they will have more time to enjoy life without much responsibility, and then they become gradually ready to take responsibility of an independent family. For example, in a new study released by the World Health Organization, capital, 2/3 of couples who married and had a child below 30 regretted marrying early and felt pity for not spending their youth efficiently, enjoying their freedom of responsibilities, and enhancing their experiences. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that full-grown people in their 30s may be more ready for being a spouse or parent. Okay. Another, you need one word, another crucial reason for increasing the rate of marriage and childbearing is financial matters, plural. The impact of economic issues cannot be overlooked, and this largely goes to the fact that women become educated and work outside the home more than before. An article published recently in the New Society magazine stated that 1/3 of women who went for maternity leave, get rid of the, could not come back to the same job and hierarchy than after. Just get rid of the then. So, most couples would rather give birth to their child after being completely established in their job and social position. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that if they marry and have a child after 30, it is safer for their job, promotion, financial situation. Okay? From the arguments and examples plural given, I firmly believe that more people in future will decide, I don't know if we can really say a spouse here, just say to give birth after 30, because they will be ready to take these roles in this decade, and not before, or just comma, not before. Okay, so let's look at this. Grammatically, obviously, there were some problems throughout. You saw me correcting really quite a bit of your grammar. What else do I want to tell you about this? Okay, another area that I want you to be careful about, it's not too much of a problem, but just be aware of it, okay? It's using all of these linking devices in the beginning of your sentence. So, you have admittedly, and then secondly, and then for example, and then therefore. Just make sure that you don't put all of these in every sentence. If you had added maybe one or two more, it would have been a problem. This is just on the border of being a problem, okay? So try not to use so many of them, because what they essentially do is they act like speed bumps in your writing. And the eye is kind of forced to stop every time it sees one of those, so it's like, admittedly, comma, etc., etc. Secondly, comma, etc., etc. Okay, so just be careful with that. Okay, another little thing, don't forget that we don't use contractions in IELTS, okay, at least not in formal writing. You could do it in a informal letter if you were doing general, but otherwise, for your purposes, you should not use that, okay? Alrighty, so why don't you go ahead then and correct these, add to your error correction list, and write your next set of essays, okay? I'll be looking forward to them. You did a nice job here, but again, there are some things that I want you to be a little aware of, okay? Primarily your grammar, and then try to be a little more cautious with all those linkers, okay? So go ahead and correct these, and I'll be waiting for your next set. Good luck.